So a question that gets asked a lot in personal development is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? So, what if there were nothing to be afraid of? What could you accomplish? Taking full responsibility for your own well-being. I choose to see that there's nothing to be afraid of. And I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to see that there's nothing to be afraid of. And I choose to love and honor myself. I choose to see that there is nothing to be afraid of. I'm clearing out fear. What am I so afraid of anyway? I choose to see that there's nothing to be afraid of. And I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself and anyone else who contributes to this. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing to be afraid of. And part of me is saying, are you crazy? There are so many things to be afraid of. That's why I spend so much of my time in fear. And I'm really tired of that. I choose to change my way of looking at life. I choose to see that there's nothing to be afraid of. Part of me says, but I might get hurt. Yeah, it's possible. But I've been hurt before. And I survived. Pain happens. Suffering is optional. And I'm opting out of suffering. And that which doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And I'm getting stronger and stronger. And then part of me says, but it might kill me. What am I so afraid of? I'm going to die one of these days. Hopefully not for a very, very long time. But it'll come. No real point in being afraid of it. And by many accounts, it'll be a very interesting experience. I'm likely to become one with all that's good. It might be extremely blissful. And while I don't need to rush towards that, there's nothing to be afraid of. And while I don't know that it'll be blissful, I don't know that it won't be. So I certainly don't know that there's something to be afraid of. So I choose to assume that there isn't. I'm giving myself this freedom. When I say there's nothing to be afraid of, I give myself real freedom. And what can I do with that freedom? What am I free to choose? What am I free to do? What's the difference that I can make on this planet? Now that I know there's nothing to be afraid of, clearing out those old fears. I can even look back at my past. At a lot of the times that I was afraid. And with hindsight, I can see that there was really nothing to be afraid of. I'm giving myself that freedom in the moment. Allowing myself to relax. Allowing myself to feel good. Allowing myself to feel safe. Safe to be. There's nothing to be afraid of. Clearing any resistance to that. Clearing all the old arguments against that. There's nothing to be afraid of. What a cool way to think. What an amazing way to live. And it doesn't mean that I'll be stupid. I'm not letting go of common sense. I'm just letting go of fear. Replacing fear with faith. They say that fear is a bad case of atheism. I'm letting go of my fear. Because there's nothing to be afraid of. I can handle what life gives me. I choose to have faith in myself, too. As I set myself free in body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. Give yourself permission to challenge some of those old fears and play with the idea of living in the idea that there's nothing to be afraid of. And just see what you accomplish. Thanks for doing so.